This is from the 936 on the college football playoff. This stabilizes the demise of the autonomous five, gives group of five at least a spot. Good news for the spirit and life of the sport.
Yeah, I think we've talked about that. I totally agree. I think getting a group of five team guaranteed to be in is great. I mean, that's awesome. There's more money to go around. And I just think, again, it makes the sport more interesting where you can have a true, just really big underdog possibly get a win.
Absolutely. So thank you for that feedback right there. Let's see. Caleb from Michigan. Alabama always gets a pass because of the eye test. Yeah, I mean, they do pass that with flying colors no matter what. I would like to see what them not passing the eye test would look like, but I just don't even think that is feasibly possible at this point.
Well, it's kind of like what Taylor said. I mean, they got in when they went 11-1, didn't even win the SEC. Ohio State did as well, I think, when Penn State made it to the Big Ten Championship. I think Ohio State got in over them despite losing to them. So it's happened where, people are just like, that was a close game they lost. We'll just give them a pass. They're really one of the top 4 teams in the country. It eliminates that a little bit because, like I said, when you're a team that's lost 2 or 3 games and you're sitting at number 15, I'm sorry, but you don't really have an argument as to, getting in the top 12. But when you're sitting there at 5 or 6, there's a legit argument you're as good as the number 4 seed that's in there.
Sure. Coleman from Memphis. I see on ESPN that 6 top conference winners get auto bids. So at this point, 5 Power 5 and 1 group of 5 get in every year. So does this keep some teams from making the jump from G5 to Power 5, or at least jumps from Pac-12, Big 12, and ACC to the Big 10 and the SEC?
I mean, I think it maybe does a little bit, but I still don't think it's going to completely stop realignment from happening.
No.
I still think there will be some moves. We mentioned the Notre Dame thing. I'm still hung up on that because I'm still trying to figure out and process, the fact that, they can't get a top 4 seed based on the rules. I just feel like that almost forces them to join a conference because that's a big deal. If you can't get the bye and you have to go in to the college football playoff and have to win a game before you can get into, one of those final matchups, that's pretty crazy to me. I need to figure out an answer to that because that's really fascinating.
I mean, I think it is what it is. I don't think they get a bye. I think that they're not in a conference and they don't get it, and I think that this was probably very much in the mind of Kevin Warren. I can't imagine at this point with all of the very smart, calculated moves that have been made that, this dude's playing chess, so other chess players can kind of predict the future for us and where this is going, but it's very clear that as much credit as we're giving him, he's like another step ahead of the credit we're giving him.
If they're not allowed a bye in this situation, then are they forced to go on the road for every college football playoff game, or are they not even allowed a home game?
No, they can get a home game because they can still get the at-large bid.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just the 4 teams.
Gosh, then they'd be out the door. Dang.
Yeah, the 4 teams get locked in based on winning the conference. But like Pitt won the ACC last year, and they still would have been the 12 seed because they weren't in one of the 4 seeds that get the bye. So I guess that's how it's going to go. But still that's a disadvantage.
Oh yeah,
you can't be in that top 8 matchup.
So now the question is for Notre Dame: does their future money as an independent, is it okay? Does it vibe well enough with what the Big Ten's going to be making that any difference they're okay in eating that difference? That's one aspect of it. You can get over that. It seems like, it's Notre Dame. They're not going to run out of money if they don't join a conference. It's just like how much money do they want to take? And they already have a lot of it.
They're guaranteed a college football playoff spot, basically.
And they're basically guaranteed a playoff spot. Yeah, the only thing they're now not guaranteed is a bye in the first round. And does that plus any difference in money outweigh all of the benefits that come with being an independent? I still don't think so. I definitely didn't think that they were being forced into anything before today. This gives me slight pause to think that maybe this would cause we don't get a bye. But I still don't know if it's enough to have me going this is worth just throwing away not only your independence, but basically your overall decision-making power and just your identity, dude, because Notre Dame, part of that identity is being an independent and being different from everybody else. And yes, you'd still be the Golden Helmets and you'd still be the Catholic school and you'd still be, Rudy and all of that, touchdown Jesus and everything that comes with that, but you'd be just another conference team. You're an Ohio State and you're a Michigan, but you're Ohio State and you're Michigan. You're not Notre Dame.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, and I've always thought that for Notre Dame, and it makes total sense, but this leaves definitely more on the table here from a competitive win a national championship aspect. This makes it much harder when you for sure are going to have to go on the road in round 2. That's that you're going to have to win a road game just to make it to the Final Four. That's crazy.
To get back to Coleman's question, and I want to get a couple more in before we go to the break here. To your question, I think we kind of answered this, but this will probably allow the Pac to have a bit more maneuvering power, but I don't think in any way this just cuts off expansion at all. I still think you got to keep an eye on what the Big Ten's up to, and then any fallout moves from that. I still think the Big 12 is going to be active. I don't think that because of today, they're just going to say, like, nope, we don't want anybody. I think everybody's still open for business. I just don't know to what level people are planning additions, whereas just looking expansion, I think that's going to heavily continue, and I still think there will be more movement. I think this just gives some pause to that and a little bit of a break. So let's go ahead and take a break here. There's still a bunch of